Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. So if you have watched my most recent video, you will know what's coming now, but this is the second of my two videos on the show. We're going to talk all things Mary Poppins, aren't we? So if you want to know my thoughts and feelings on this show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. Quickly, before we get into the review that is not a review and why we do that, let's get into the full spiel. For every show that I see, I like to do 2 separate videos, time permitting. The first one being the last video, which was the Nervous Guide. The Nervous Guide is basically everything you need to know about the show before you go in. So that could be sensory warnings, content warnings, age restrictions, running times, view from my seat. The choices are endless, but it's pretty much that. This is the second video. This is the review. The review is always put in inverted commas because at the end of the day I am just a person who likes going to the theatre and seeing shows and then talking about the said show with somebody. Unfortunately, 9 times out of 10 I will go and see a show on my own and therefore don't have anyone to do the debrief with. This is that. This is the debrief with a friend. It just happens to be my friend does not answer back and is a camera. Wow, that got a bit sad. Anyway, let's get into this show and let's talk about the UK tour of Mary Poppins. Firstly, I do have to say this is not my first time. It's not my first rodeo at Mary Poppins. I have now seen this show 4 separate times, twice in London, once previously a long time ago on tour. I believe it was either my 18th or my 21st birthday. I can't remember which one it is, but bearing in mind my birthday has been this week and I am now 35. Okay, that's aged me quite a lot, but it's been a while. Plus, on top of that, Mary Poppins is a film. The original film is one of my comforts in life. It has been since I was a little child. If I was grumpy or tired or just a terror, I used to get plonked in front of the video. Yep, that's video, and not even like an official video. My parents would have recorded it off the telly, so you had to fast forward through the adverts. Children these days don't know how lucky they are. Anyway, yeah, I was brought up on Mary Poppins, so this is just a happy show for me. The musical version is based on the original stories by P.L. Travers. It uses music from the original film, which was done by the Sherman Brothers. In addition to that, the book of the musical was written by Julian Fellowes, who some people might know as the writer behind Downton and other projects. And also there is additional music by Styles and Drew. Put all those things together, you have got an excellent show. On top of that, so if you're like, okay, that sounds amazing, on top of that, the original choreography which is used in this show was done by Michael Bourne and Stephen Meyer. Let's sit that in your head for a second. On top of that, the scenic and costume design was done by Bob Crowley. I feel like I've probably mentioned this in the past, but the set of this show, especially when 17 Cherry Tree Lane comes out from the back, opens up, oh, it's my favourite thing in the world. So to see this whole thing brought to life once again in Birmingham around my birthday was the best birthday present that the Hippodrome could do this year. Love it. Creatively, it was just stunning to see again. I was talking to my friend afterwards because she'd seen the show a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about how just like aesthetically pleasing and just everything has been done in such a way that it's just stunning to look at, stunning to listen to. Just everything is just so beautiful, and the cast top it all off. So let's move into those, starting with the big woman herself. She's not big, but she has a show, Mary Poppins herself. Now, my performance, we had an understudy who was Darcy Finden. Literally from the moment that Mary Poppins enters that stage, the children in the audience and some of the big kids like myself are just like drawn to her. The amount of little children who is in that show dressed up as Mary Poppins, I was like, I don't think my heart could take it. There's me in my little penguin bottle, just loving life. Did I say earlier that I was 35 years old now? But no, in all honesty, Darcy was an amazing Mary Poppins. The magic that she brought onto the stage was absolutely fantastic. The gasps, the cheers, everything by everyone in the show, just like amazing, so magical. Bert in the show was played by Jack Chambers. I really enjoyed his portrayal of Bert. Obviously, being raised on the film, Bert is synonymous. You know what word I'm trying to say? I can't say it. Bert is always going to be Dick Van Dyke to so many people, but the way that Jack portrayed Bert was really excellent. It's kind of a cheeky chappy, like I really enjoyed his portrayal and was very much enamored. Why am I saying all the words tonight? I was enamored with him. There we go. Speaking of being in love with people, let's move on to George Banks, which is being played by Michael D. Xavier in this production. When I saw this casting, I was like, how is that gonna work? Because every time I've seen Michael portray someone previously, he's been kind of the lovely, like the sweet man, the sweet, you know, like the person you just want to give a hug. And at the beginning of the show, you kind of feel like George Banks is the hard one, like the not really the dad. I don't know how to describe George Banks at the start of the show, but if you've ever seen the film, you know he's a bit of a I don't like you kind of person, especially certain views on certain things, because it was a different time back then. But saying that, I really enjoyed watching Michael Xavier in this role, especially as the light comes back into George's eyes as the show progresses with the magic that is around him. And I really enjoyed that portrayal. It was really excellent. And I really enjoyed his chemistry alongside Mrs. Banks, or Winifred, who was played by Lucy May Sumner. Again, fantastic portrayal of a really lovely Winifred. She was just like sweet and innocent, but still had her man and had his back. Loved it. Finishing off the Bankses in our performance, the roles of Jane and Michael were played by Katie Roden and Charlie Donald respectively, and they were amazing individuals. It always makes me so jealous when I watch a show that has these amazingly talented children in, and I'm like, you have more talent in your one pinky finger than I have my entire body, and I'm very jealous about that. Before I do a few other mentions, I did want to mention the ensemble cast, who are absolutely phenomenal. Like, there is obviously quite a few big moments and big dance and choreography and just everything moments in this show. For example, it's Jolly Holiday Act 1, and Act 2 there is a song called Anything Can Happen, which literally made me sob, but that's a story for a different day. And they are big like production moments in the show, and the ensemble just made everything magical and glorious and wonderful. So I did want to mention every single member of this cast, but it would be a ridiculously long video and it's already 10 minutes long. My final few shout outs, firstly to what is always going to be my favourite pairing in the show, which is Mrs. Brill and Robinson I, for reasons I can't explain, but I just love them to pieces. In this production they are played by Rosemary Ash and Rory MacDonald. Hopefully I pronounced Rory's name correctly because there is a lot of different letters, but I'm pretty sure it's Rory. But like I said, always going to be a fan of those two characters, and those two did them justice. Mrs. Corrie was played by Sharon Wattis. Again, I really enjoy that character, even though it's not one that is in the like original film. Mrs. Corrie is just one of those like larger than life characters, and I really enjoyed Sharon's portrayal. And finally, the formidable Miss Andrews, who is played by Wendy Ferguson. The vocal chops on that woman were insane. But yeah, the fact that she is this horrible character, but you also kind of don't want to fully hate her, or is that just me? If you haven't already worked out, I would fully recommend, whether you are 9 months, 9 years or 99 years, that you get yourself a ticket. I did think when I bought these tickets for my birthday that I was going to most definitely be the oldest person in the room, apart from my mum. However, I was not, because everybody, whether they were with young children or just came for a lovely afternoon out, everyone was there. And it's just, this magic is not just for little children, this magic is for everybody. And I am still in love with the show 4th time through. Go and get a ticket is all I'm going to say. This show continues in Birmingham for a little while longer before it moves on to pastures new. The tour also continues on until I think it was the 31st of January 2026, which sounds such a long way away, but it won't be. It'll be Christmas before we know it. Sorry, I said the word. And the tour finishes in Liverpool. But I will always try and remember to put a link to the website for the show so you can see where it's going after Birmingham, if Birmingham is not your local. But there we go, pretty much everything that I need to say has been said. I now need to clear all of the things that I showed in the last video, which is pretty much everything I bought from the show, which is a lot. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out, because I bought so much merchandise and I'm not sorry. I'll do it again. But all that's left to say in this video is thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back next time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I've got a few more shows in the diary kind of penciled in at this point, because I've not actually bought any tickets, but I'm going to. I promise. Yeah, so there'll be more Nevers guides, more reviews for you to check out, and more theatre based content, hopefully. But all that's left to say is the usual, and that is thank you very much for watching, and finally, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye.